Ladies and gentlemen, well, probably just gentlemen. I don't think a lot of ladies watch this show, but it's in case you do, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tim Moen Show. So glad you're here. So glad to be back with young Jared. It's been a while. Jared is a co-worker. He's off work right now. He's got an injury. How are things going, Jared?
Oh, just riding the rehab train, trying to make it day to day. No, it's pretty gravy so far, and just a lot of physio. And
yeah, the knee's coming along.
Yeah, I'm walking around without crutches. I'm not supposed to be, but
I want to ask you a question about Valentine's Day, but before I got to set this up for the audience. You are in a fairly new relationship with something we normally warn young guys about, which is stay away from the daughters of coworkers, of firefighters. You know, that's just a recipe for, but young Jared don't play. He don't care. Young Jared doesn't follow the rules. He marches to the beat of his own drum. He's dating a very respected and senior captain in our fire department. He's dating one of her daughters. I don't know how I would handle it if a young buck like young Jared was dating my daughter. But okay, you're dating this gal. You're hitting it off. So far, you seem to be navigating all the pitfalls. But what does a young guy like you, with all this extra pressure, I mean, she's going to be going home and telling dad about how you treat her, about what's going on, about how considerate and kind you are and giving. So how does young Jared deal with Valentine's Day? What does that look like?
With the utmost respect. Before I put my foot in my mouth here, all respect to her and her family. And I'm
disclaimer,
on good terms with her and her family.
Okay.
She knows I come and do this. She knows that I write jokes about her sometimes.
Is there going to be a but here, Jared? Because you know, if you say the word but, it cancels everything you just said, right?
No but.
Okay.
No but.
Okay.
I just wanted to get that out there.
She's got no.
Now the Valentine's Day thing is a completely separate issue.
Okay.
That's completely different. I stand firmly on my beliefs that Valentine's Day is a money grab. It's a made-up holiday. It's a made-up holiday. I mean, I could be just new and stubborn, but like the amount of Instagram posts that I see of friends and family posting their significant others and happy Valentine's and everything is like, are you doing it for you? Or are you doing it for them? Or are you doing it for the likes and the grabs? That's my point of view on it.
For the likes and the grab, Jared, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is a hard lesson to learn. You remind me a lot of myself when I was your age, and I think it was probably my first marriage, or maybe it was my second marriage. I can't remember, but I was very much in line with you. Like, all these holidays are contrived, and they're commercial ventures, and they're mandated by government, and Jesus was never born on Christmas. He was born in the spring or maybe the fall, but certainly not close to winter solstice. So what are we doing here? We're just, and by the way, why am I buying presents from a list you gave me? Doesn't that totally destroy the whole idea of gift giving? Valentine's Day, who came up with that bullshit? Who's the cuck that came up with Valentine's Day? And why do we all have to follow his thing? But
seriously, okay, I mean, who is this Cupid guy anyways?
Well, yeah,
I've never seen him.
But here's what I learned. It matters to the woman, and we can buck societal trends and norms all we want. We can say that none of these traditions matter, that they're all a bunch of bullshit, and they emerge from bullshit. You won't get any argument from me. But if we rebel against all of them and deprive our significant others of the chance to show off how kind and considerate we are and how loved they are by
how awesome of a boyfriend I am.
Their boyfriend, we deprive them of a very important part of their life that is very important, especially to the female of the species.
Likes.
Yes.
No. It is. I don't know. I've been in relationships before, and I'm not good at them. Like, they've obviously never been successful.
I couldn't have guessed.
They've never been successful, and I take limited to no blame in that. Personally, no, I'm kidding. it is, you do kind of have to swallow your pride a little bit, and I'm learning that this go around for sure. But like the nuances of a new relationship versus like a more long-term relationship.
Now you were telling me a story of another thing. You're standing on principle.
I'm standing on principle.
Your Captain America bed sheets.
Oh, I've had these bed sheets.
Your girlfriend's trying to change you. She wants to get rid of these Captain America bed sheets, give you some grown-up ones, and you are standing firm on the principle that do you hate America? Do you hate the captain? What's going on?
Yeah, seriously. No, I've had these Captain America bed sheets 2-3 years probably, and I live and die by them. And it's not like they're like cheap Walmart bed sheets. Like they were custom bamboo bed sheets. Wow. Which is more embarrassing that I have that and has spent money on that than anything.
What's the thread count on those?
Oh, yeah. If I could remember, I'd tell you, but it feels nice. Yeah. So she's like, we're talking Valentine's Day posts, and I was talking to my friends like, should I post her? Should I just stick to my guns, or should I drop my pride and post? And she texts and she's like, I'm gonna throw up. All these posts are disgusting. And I was like, okay, bullet dodged. And I was like, is this gonna come back and haunt me?
Yeah, of course it will.
So instead I got flowers, but I've never gotten her flowers before. So she's like, well, if you don't have to post me, but I do really like flowers. And then me being the funny guy that I am, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get you flowers. And she's like, well, I would never say no to them. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, well, you'll never have to, because I'm not going to get them for you.
Here are these things that are going to wilt and die for you, symbolizing our love.
So she comes over
and dying as we speak from the sounds of it.
She got me a gift. Oh, I'm like, whatever. I'm not, whatever. Comes over, brings me the gift, and it's bed sheets. Right? So the bed sheets symbolize to me my old life, where I was allowed to have Captain America bed sheets and spend my money as I wish. And now I've got to use these gray flannel bed sheets, which are also very nice. But I'm standing on business. I told her, I'm going to hide them, and we're not going to use them, because I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I'm like Leonidas and Sparta. This is where we stand.
Yeah. Well, I had a similar thing. I had a dinosaur shirt that I was very much liked. And it was like, remember the dinosaurs, with the comet coming over. Always remember, or something like that. I thought it was funny and kind of cute. My wife hated it. And she ended up throwing it out. She ended up having to get me a new dinosaur shirt. But
I mean, personal property,
Well, it is just like the bed sheets, kind of. But I have a particular way I lived as a bachelor that things may have appeared very untidy and messy, and
100%.
There was a system to it. I knew where shit was. I didn't have to go hunting for stuff, because I kind of knew which pile was in it. And I had a system of laundry too. Like you have your clean clothes, they're hanging up, but then you wear some clothes and they're not dirty enough for the laundry. Like you don't need to throw them in the laundry, but they're also
absolutely not
clean enough to put back in your thing. So you create gradations of piles of varying degrees of filthy clothes, right? That you can select from depending on the occasion. Like
100%. I've got my clean clothes hamper and my dirty clothes hamper. And the only difference is like when you take your dirty clothes to the laundry, you throw them in the laundry, and then you take your clean clothes out and put them in a different hamper so that you don't contaminate. Then when you're all finished, you still have dirty clothes that aren't washed, because you never do them all at once. So now there's just 2 hampers and then a pile. And the one pile is like kind of clean, but I can wear it tomorrow.
Right. You can wear it tomorrow. Or if you need to go out and do a little bit of landscaping, you're not going to grab a cleanly pressed shirt and put it on to go out and dig in the dirt. You're going to grab from that pile of clothes that is sitting there that is,
nonsensical,
half dirty, right?
Nonsensical.
But the ladies, they don't understand this system, and they, so you learn to adapt. You compromise, and you learn that maybe your way of doing things isn't always the right way or the best way. And
like I said, I talked to a couple of my buddies about that. Like, should I post? And they're all like, man, you just gotta do it. It's just one of those things you just gotta do. And then one guy who is a close friend, won't shout him out, but close friend who's going to keep his trade secrets secret. He said, you can do private stories and they can't see who you allow. You can choose who you allow to see it. So he's like, just include your girlfriend and her closest friends and then post it to a private story so that nobody else knows you posted it and they can't tell who gets to see it. And I'm like, that's genius, actually.
Wow. Very good. Wow.
Tricks
You should probably just stay away from social media when you have these types of questions and ring your boy up here and let me give you some, advice.
Hop on the Tim Moen show.
Hard-won advice. All right. We got a lot of stuff to get to. First of all, Super Bowl was last weekend. I like to think that I'm above all the bread and circuses of the end of empire and the distraction that is sports, the proxy for war that it is, to distract us from noticing that we're slaves and keep us all kind of mollified and narcotic into what did was it Marx that said religion was the opium of the masses? Maybe it's sports that are the opium of the masses right now. But nonetheless, I did watch Super Bowl. I did watch it, and much to my shame, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the spectacle. I enjoyed the drama. I enjoyed the Taylor Swift stuff that came out of it. It is entertaining. It is keeping me mollified. It is keeping me from rebelling against my masters. So congratulations, establishment. You beat old Moen this time.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
Okay.
I watched it and I hated it every second of it.
You did.
Because I feel like if anybody listened to last episode, we went into my deep dislike for certain characters such as Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And it's just seemed it was too set up for Kansas to win. And when you're at the top of the mountain, everybody's trying to knock you off. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And they are for sure the villain right now. Because 3 years ago when it was Mahomes versus Brady, everyone wanted Mahomes to knock off Brady, and then they didn't. And now he's the new Brady, and everybody wants to see him gone. So I shouldn't say that. It was very entertaining. It was a really good game. The Chiefs played their hearts out, their little hearts out. So I'll give it to them.
What about all the conspiracy theories we're seeing, though? We're seeing Taylor Swift is a witch. We're seeing everything was set up. There was 333 yards that Mahomes threw for, that whatever. It's the stadium is at 333. It's all set up. It's all contrived. It's scripted, right down to those details. Can that, as a guy who's played sports before, is that possible?
I mean, I don't know. Lucky numbers are one thing for sure. I do, like, on the same topic though, Taylor Swift's favorite number is 13.
Oh.
And they played Brock Purdy, who is number 13. So then people are like, so Brock Purdy's gonna win. I was like,
all right, well, let's get into some of this. So we got some videos lined up here. Here's one. I think this is the 13 thing you're talking about. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. No, that's not it. Is it this one? No, this one. All right.
Oh, I love these.
13th row or 13th section. It's really a good number.
Wait, hold on. There's more.
Hold on, let me start this again. I think how do you
know what Super Bowl is?
Oh, that's good there.
You know what 5 plus 8 is? 13. It's Taylor Swift's album called 13. Hey. You guys know the date of the Super Bowl?
It's the 11th.
Of
February.
11 plus 2.
He's reaching for that one.
Who are they playing?
49ers.
It's 4 plus 9.
Dude, come on. 13.
Just saying. What seed are the 49ers?
The 1 seed.
What seed are the Chiefs?
The 2 seed.
No, the 3.
1 and 3. 13. This dude is so stupid.
Where's Fluff coming from? She's coming from Tokyo to the Super Bowl.
What does that mean?
A flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas.
13 hours.
13 hours. And I'm not even kidding.
What?
You know how many games Taylor Swift has been to?
13.
12.
This is the 13th. Super Bowl will be the 13th. Is this all true? Right?
Yeah, no, this is all for real. Brock Purdy's jersey number is 13, so that's 8. The funny thing is, in numerology, 13 actually symbolizes good luck. If you made it this far, there's absolutely
Not
no
where
way
I'm
you
from.
watched all of that and thought to yourself, that's just.
I was born on the 13th.
Is this a coincidence? I think not, but you tell me.
I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. My first album went gold in the U.S. in 13 weeks. Every time I've won an award at an award show, I've been seated in row M, which is the 13th letter, or like the 13th seat, or the 13th row, or the 13th section. It's really a good number.
Wait.
All right, there you go. 13. I mean, how do you explain that?
I mean, but what's the angle here? You know, like she likes 13 and there's a lot of 13s.
Yeah, but 13 is satanic, isn't it?
I thought so. I mean, in Edson, you're not allowed to wear number 13.
In Edson? Why?
Well, rest in peace, Jesse James. But there was a kid who, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago on the way to a hockey game, got in a wreck and he didn't make her. So now all the jerseys say JJ13 on them and they retired his jersey.
Well, I know in Grand Prairie, they had a building, their one, I guess, high rise downtown was called 214 Place because it had 214th floors because they didn't want to have a floor 13th floor. All right, let's keep going. There's some more interesting stuff here to consider. Let's see this. Taylor Swift is a satanic witch. If you listen to her evil sophistry and claim to follow the Messiah, repent. This pawn of Satan will lead you to hellfire. She has rituals on stage at her concerts. Is there anything that can be construed as not satanic in anything she does, or anything anyone does? I don't know.
She loves love, so that's not
she loves love,
I guess.
Yeah, well,
I think that's a thing. Probably.
Well, remember though that Satan comes as an angel of light. He's the most beautiful of angels.
Now hear me out. Maybe she's Lilith.
Like a succubus that sucks the life energy for someone.
Some super attractive, temptress that's supposed to draw people in to be demon spawn.
All right, let's see. Some people in the comments, I think they have a more here's official blasphemy. It represents rebirth. 12 is a complete cycle. That makes sense. 12 months in a year. 13 is rebirth. It's a Masonic thing. You become reborn as a Mason in the first rite. Huh, interesting.
Well, Mason's better than a Jared.
I just don't know enough about these occult things. I did read somewhere that it would make more sense if a year was 13 months because each month would be 28 days and each month would start on a Monday and end on a Monday or something. I can't remember.
Well, this might be a super ignorant question, but like who invented whose calendar are we following? Like who?
I don't know. Who?
I don't know. Because that probably has something to do with
it. Fred?
Mean, people were pretty superstitious. Like I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
A little stitious. Normal stitious.
I am pretty normal stitious.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah. Then we move to her boyfriend, the old Pfizered up Travis Kelce. Is it Kelsey or Kels?
Kelsey. Travis Kelce.
Should have a Y at the end of his name. Another strange thing that certainly has something to do with Satan.
It's got to be French.
Somehow. Here he is blowing up at his coach.
Oh, this pissed me off. He's a senior citizen. Leave him alone. Even his team's pulling him away. What makes me mad about this is he's done it. Like that's not the first time he's done it this year. He's come off the field, losing his mind, throwing his helmet, like yelling at teammates. And sure that like this was the Super Bowl. You're probably a little worked up. But like any coach I've ever had, if I came off on a power play or if I got pulled out of a game and I came back to the bench and started yelling at the coach and pushing the coach, that you're not playing again.
Okay, but let me play Satan's advocate on the behalf of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift here. Satan might say something like this. Well, you ain't no Kelce. You weren't the star of the team, were you?
True. I didn't sell my soul
relationship?
to go to the Super Bowl.
Young Jared, did you have a relationship with your coach like Travis Kelce has with Andy Reid? They've been through wars. They're like a father and son team together. They've developed a close-knit relationship. Andy Reid himself said, when asked about it, that Travis Kelce makes him feel young, and that he came over immediately afterwards, gave him a hug, and apologized for his behavior. What do you do with Travis Kelce?
Sit him. He didn't do shit the first half anyways. He had, what was it, like 1 target or 2 targets, 1 catch, and like 10 yards in the first half. Then he had 7 catches for, I want to say, close to 90 yards in the second half. Might even have been just the fourth quarter. So you could say that fired him up. But I mean, if you're gonna play,
but he was pulling all the defenders away from the other guys so they could work, huh?
Yeah, but they didn't even work. They didn't do anything.
Well,
Their whole first half, there was nothing. But to play double Satan's advocate here, would Rob Gronkowski ever do this to Bill Belichick?
Hell no. I don't think.
Hell no. And if he did, would he play after? Hell no. Right. And as good as Kelce is, he ain't no Gronk. And I'll die on that hill.
I hope you don't have to.
Hopefully there's no Kelce
New World
fans
Order,
coming after me.
Schwab points a gun at your head and tells you to denounce your Lord and Savior Rob Gronkowski. What do?
Go to my capoeira.
Do you deny your Savior like Peter did his?
Never.
No, never. All right.
Never. Rob Gronkowski will take us to the promised land.
Justin Turdo asked, did you enjoy the Black Nationalist anthem? I didn't even notice that. That was the
Didn't Reba do the anthem?
She did the national anthem, but before that there was Andrew
right.
who sang something, and then before that there was the dude with the facial tattoos. Looks like a homeless dude. Post Malone was singing.
And Post Malone kills me. He's so funny. Like he's so clearly just destroyed on. Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't really enjoy any of that stuff. That like the hymns to the state, known as anthems, have always kind of repulsed me a little bit. It's like we're worshiping, we're singing a literal hymn. I mean, it's kind of creepy having flags and hymns and this, and it gets me, don't get me wrong, it warms the cockles of my heart sometimes, but that worries me because it's like I'm endearing myself to this criminal organization called the state by engaging in these acts of patriotism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm committing treason on my soul sometimes when I'm doing that. I don't know.
I mean, what
does the nation have to do with this football game? Why are we using this football game?
It's America's game. Event? It's America's game. You know what pisses me off more about that is at the end of the game when they win, they always call it's like maybe not hockey, but like football, boxing, UFC, they always say the heavyweight champion of the world, right? Where Kansas City Chiefs are now the football champions of the world. It's like it's just you guys. Like that's like me
anywhere else.
That's like me building Lego in my own league of Legos, and then when I'm the best Lego builder, I'm like I'm the best. I'm like the world champion.
I'm the world champion of this thing I made up
world champion,
myself, and I'm the only one that plays. Yeah, it's kind of.
I mean, I do get kind of tired of all. I agree with the hymns for sure. And why do you need someone famous to sing the national anthem? Like I know it's a Super Bowl, but that's all volunteer time. Why not get somebody who needs the screen time to do it? In my opinion, like Reba doesn't need screen time. Everybody knows.
I will say that again, Reba touched my heart with her rendition. And what does that say about me? You know, and the way she pointed at that flag with those Reba eyes, and I'm thinking in my head, here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me down, Reba. And she nailed it. But
and the thing about Reba too, she's just a single mom who works too hard, but she loves her kids and never stops.
Yeah. Amen. Okay, so what do we have here? Here's Travis Kelce E.
There you go.
Post Super Bowl win here. Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
Tay. He's gonna wreck his voice doing that.
He's gonna thrash his pipes.
Taylor doesn't know quite what to think about that.
No, she was not impressed. That's
like,
That's why in previous episodes I am backpedaling. I'm backpedaling for sure. I realized that even Jason Kelsey wasn't pleased about that. I'm backpedaling. I don't hate Taylor Swift. I strongly dislike Travis Kelsey. And that's me switching sides, but staying on the same side of the fence. Ugh.
Oh, now it's teeing him up.
Like, I'm sure it was electric. Maybe I'm just a hater because I wasn't there. I probably would have ate it up if I was there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, he's firing the crowd. He's got a career in the WWE after this if things don't work out for him. Here's one more video from. Let's see. How do I do this? Share screen. There we go. Here we go.
No, we ain't done yet.
Oh, this is a tough watch.
It's Big Daddy driving Kelsey.
There you go, WWE belt.
Oh boy.
Cut that. I want everybody a part of this thing. If you know this song, sing along. Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in booze and ruined the
Oh boy.
affair. The last one to know.
He's reading off his phone. Reading the lyrics off his phone. That's hilarious.
And I saw the surprise.
Mahomes is holding them up.
Took that glass of champagne. Pat took that glass of champagne, I promise you.
Oh boy.
And I toasted you.
Oh boy. Time to put Travis to bed.
I got friends.
There comes Kermit the Frog.
What would you say to somebody thinking of signing up with?
I mean, again, looks like he's having a time.
Yeah.
Guys being dudes, but my Christ. There's a lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack. It's silly, isn't it?
Very silly. I mean, as a national role model, you'd think you could clean it up for a minute. Like, you know, you're going to get mic time, then let her buck after that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
All right, we got to move on to more serious news because there's a threat apparently growing over our heads right now. There is it's a national security threat that has been issued for the United States. I guess it doesn't threaten us, but kind of feels like it should, maybe. And that is nuclear capabilities in space. U.S. has new intelligence on Russian military capabilities related to its efforts to deploy a nuclear anti-satellite system in space, according to multiple sources familiar with the intelligence. Now, just before I continue in the article, the timing of this article is perfect because, man, we were starting to scratch our heads after that Tucker and Putin interview, which, you know, kind of twisted the narrative a little bit on the old military-industrial complex, and now we're getting this news that, oh shit, don't get it twisted. Russia is the enemy of the West and needs to be dealt with because they're doing something up there. The intelligence was briefed to Congress, and key U.S. allies and some lawmakers say it's serious enough that it should be declassified and made public. While the intelligence is concerning, multiple senior members of Congress briefed on the information on Wednesday emphasized that it does not pose an immediate threat to the U.S. or its interests. Oh, that's good. Yeah, perfect. But we can be sure that that threat will ramp up as U.S. interests dictate, as the U.S. military-industrial complex interests dictate, right? The system remains under development and is not yet in orbit. What? So why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about this right now? Surely you've known about this probably for years, but now you're talking about it. According to 3 U.S. officials familiar with the intelligence, it's not clear how far the technology has progressed. Oh, so they don't even know. One of the officials said. A separate U.S. official told them that the threat does not involve a weapon that would be used to attack humans. Oh, so I'm not
perfect.
Danger.
We're just attacking aliens.
Threat.
Or
it's
fish.
not immediately clear whether the intelligence referred to a nuclear-powered anti-satellite capability or a nuclear-armed capability. Okay, that's one of the articles.
You know what else is interesting timing about this? Is that the movie's not long ago, and there's a new movie out called ISS, and it's basically about the Russians and the Americans on the International Space Station, and they look down and see nuclear war unfolding. They both get orders to eliminate the others, but they're like on the fence about whether they're going to do it. And
I
then
saw that movie, yeah. Or I saw that. I didn't see the movie. I saw the trailer for it. Looks interesting.
And then a nuclear warhead, it acts as an EMP and wipes out all the electronics on the space station. So
right.
Convenient timing, Hollywood.
And I mean, it's enough to scare the Jesus out of us, right? I mean, look, if they launch something up there that can take out satellites, they can kill our internet. What will we do without the internet? What will we do without?
Well, we wouldn't be watching Jason Kelsey make an ass of himself.
Wow, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing, hey? Maybe we should just cut the internet, and then I won't have to worry about which celebrities I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have to worry about what to be outraged about this week. That's one of the most difficult parts of this. When you're not outraged about things, you have to actually do outrage mining. Like I find for this podcast, I have to go through Twitter, I have to go through the news. I try to find things to be outraged about to bring to you guys so that you can also be outraged while you watch me. So we're a big part of the outrage industrial complex over here, but I'm not very good at fomenting outrage. It's just
for anybody listening, what are you outraged about?
Yeah, drop in the comments what you're outraged about. What are you outraged about this week? Is it Taylor Swift being a Satanist? Is it Travis Kelce being a pincushion for Big Pharma? What is it? Here's something to be outraged about, I think, maybe. And that is, assuming we don't get annihilated by this Russian threat. Hey, by the way, wasn't the U.S. engaged in a program called Star Wars? Didn't President Trump start something called Space Force? Isn't the U.S. doing exactly the same thing?
Yes, they 100% are.
So, oh boy.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Official blasphemy is outraged by all this outrage. Yeah.
Well, the fact that you would say that,
I'm glad we could provide you something to be outraged about.
That's just outrageous.
It is.
I just can't get on board.
All right. This is kind of interesting. I haven't made my mind up about this, but you guys have heard of the new Apple Vision Pro that's coming out. Here's a little 1.5-minute video kind of outlining what it's about.
To start of the day, I decided to head over to a local coffee shop to get a quick coffee. I went in wearing the headset and nobody really seemed to notice or care, which is a good thing. I'm blending in already.
Nice.
First, I connected my iPhone hotspot to the Vision Pro, so I have internet everywhere.
First of all, wait, nobody cares that there's a weirdo around wearing one of these things.
Well, I mean, we've been looking at people with tails and horse heads for long enough that I don't think goggles is the strangest thing everybody's seen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We avert our eyes from people who are clinically insane as well, right? That isn't necessarily a good thing. We like pretend we don't see them because as soon as you make eye contact with one of these people, it's on. They're going to be engaging with you. All right, let's see.
I started out by checking my Instagram and Twitter pages, see what's going on, see what's up, and then I headed over to my email inbox to check things off and reply to a few emails. And using the Vision Pro really feels a lot like the iPad in many ways. I mean, a lot of the apps available on this device are actually just iPad versions of apps. And because of that, using these apps just feels very natural and very familiar. I spent some more time here just enjoying my coffee.
Yeah, so
my worst nightmare is having a conversation with this guy.
It's a fantastic technology to go out in public and stay isolated and alone. It's like a Matrix pod that is transportable. You know what I mean?
Now all we need is a fat guy in a scooter wearing an Apple headset, and it's just like Wally.
Yeah.
Around really trying out this headset, and eventually I headed out with my coffee. Walking around with this thing on, having maps or music or videos open as I walk is
Who's
a pretty
filming
crazy
this guy?
thing. I headed towards the closest subway station, but before hopping on, I did have to feed my cats for their first meal of the day. So I opened my auto feeders app and
wait a second. Of course, this guy has cats. He is the human equivalent of a cat.
Hey, he's a cat guy. I want to know. I want to know who's filming this guy and how did he get friends. If I ever ask any of my friends to film me doing this, then I want a serious reality check.
Right, he's probably paid. Well, you're doing the same version, aren't you? Doing a young Jared's video blog or something like that, where you're
born in the barn.
Born in the barn.
I mean, I guess it's kind of the same thing, except people have been making. Yeah, I don't know. Again,
how
I'm
are you
just a
going to
hater.
distinguish yourself from this guy's brand, though? That's the question.
Oh, well, for starters, not going to wear the headset.
The Vision Pro, and it works
I might wear
actually
goggles,
pretty
though.
well. But some things can be a little bit hard to press if they are smaller UI elements. But overall, being able to even do this is actually crazy.
Well, it is crazy. I will grant him that.
I saw a video of a guy fixing his car with one of those on, and it was like he had like the YouTube page pulled up on the side, and then he had like the owner's manual, and when he looked at the motor or the engine, he could like it like labeled all the parts, so he knew what it was supposed to do.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
kind
like,
of cool.
That's a very useful application.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to get one. But I need to resist the urge because I'm an introvert by nature, and I like to just surround myself in my own little worlds and think about things and do things. You know, like the pandemic lockdowns were almost like I almost felt like it was a godsend in a lot of ways, even though I railed against them and think they're horrible and evil. But it was like, yes, I don't have to go out. I never have to talk to people again.
See, there you go. You either die a hero or live long enough.
There's a
to see
funny.
yourself
I
become a
don't
villain.
know if you saw this. Crystalia posted a video. Let's see if I can find it here. It's a guy wearing ski goggles with some sort of a thing posted to his head, or like one of those Apple eye chargers taped to the head. And he's having a virtual reality fight in a coffee shop. It was pretty funny.
No, that is funny. That's funny. But a dude just like he's wearing them to make a statement, which I don't jive with.
Introvert is just another word for socially lazy. Don't make excuses for yourself. Well,
I don't know if you can call yourself an introvert and then go live stream on the internet. You know, it's kind of the opposite.
I'm socially lazy. Well, I will say this. Here's the thing. I do enjoy socializing, and it does take energy for me to socialize. I'll socialize, but I find that over time, as I'm socializing, my energy gets drained. Now, I think other people have a very different experience when they socialize. Like my son is super introverted. Like he loves being around people, and it's like the more people he's around, the more energy he has. I know people like this. We work with, Jay Damery at work. He's like a social butterfly, right?
I definitely get it.
It would take more effort for him to isolate himself. So work for him is spending time alone. Work for me is going out and socializing. I think that's the difference between an introvert and an extrovert. But yeah, you're right. I do need to get out there. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I am running for union vice president. And
Mm.
so your boy has to
Shout
get out
out.
there and be a man of the people and shake hands and different things like that.
Make sure we don't get fired.
Yeah, I better not say anything bad on this podcast.
Leave it to me.
All right, let's see. What do we got next? So that's Apple Vision Pro. Are you going to get one?
No, not about it.
You're not about it?
Not about
More
it.
of a MetaQuest headset kind of guy?
I will say I do want a VR headset so I can set up my flight simulator.
Oh, there you go. Why not the Apple
So
Vision Pro?
maybe I'll look into it.
There you go. See, they already got you.
Yep, now I'm
When you
hooked.
get Neuralink, you're going to need something like that, right?
Neuralink would be sweet. Then I'd be able to remember what I went downstairs for, not have to make 7 trips on crutches up and down the stairs.
Yeah. Okay. I think this might be the last thing here that I want to talk about. I'm seeing a bigger push for this. There's capitalism is trending on Twitter, and not positively. People are decrying it. And I woke up this morning, and this is one of the first tweets I saw that someone had shared on social media. And I woke up pissed off. It really grinded my gears, chapped my ass, so to speak. And I don't know why. I hate it when people are wrong on the internet. Robert,
never me.
Yeah, no, of course not. Robert Reich tweeted, "We're paying a whopping 25% more for groceries than we did in 2019. In 2022, grocery prices rose more than they had in over 4 decades. Inflation is cooling, but the prices keep going up. This is what happens when 5 companies dominate over 60% of American grocery sales." All right, here, let me explain to you why this tweet bugs the shit out of me. It's full of so many fallacies. First of all, this idea that it's CEO greed. And by the way, these are the same talking points that Jagmeet Singh and the NDP keep bringing up. It's why grocery store CEOs have been appearing in hearings before Parliament and different things like that. But he says this is what happens when 5 companies dominate 60% of American grocery sales. So what he's claiming is because they have this monopoly over groceries, they're able to charge more. But first of all, didn't that same market share exist before 2019? So why didn't they jack up prices 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Why all of a sudden, what could have possibly changed after 2019 that could have explained this? Because surely they were greedy before 2019. They didn't just suddenly get greedy in 2019. They were just giving. And before that, something must have happened in 2019 or shortly after 2019 that explains all this price inflation. Surely.
They realized that people will buy every single roll of toilet paper in the country.
Right.
If you scare them.
He also goes on to say inflation is cooling, but the prices keep going up. So what does that mean? Inflation is cooling. Well, it just means that prices are rising at a slightly slower rate. That's cooling. It's not like prices like there's deflation going on. It's not like there's fewer dollars in existence and that our buying power is increasing when he says inflation is cooling. What he's saying is that inflation isn't quite as hot as it was a year ago. Okay. So, but it's still going up. And could that have something to do with the fact that the prices keep going up? Well, by most people's definition, that is the definition of inflation, that prices are going up. Okay. So the other thing is, of course, Robert Reich wants to, he has a set of policy solutions. He's a leftist economist. His policy solutions will be more government intervention. You see, he sees no connection between all the government intervention that happened in 2019, 2020, and forward with all the pandemic restrictions, the lockdowns, the absolute crushing of small businesses by those policies, the disruption of supply chains, the trillions and trillions of dollars printed, robbing our buying power. See, none of that had anything to do with the inflation and the increase in prices we're seeing and the cost of living. No, it was just corporate greed. It was just these CEOs being greedy.
The only other
his
Reich I
policy
know,
solutions are we need more government intervention, and he doesn't see the nuttiness of this.
the only Reich I know aside from this guy loves the government.
Right. Yes. These Reichs. Yeah.
The Reichs and their government, I tell you.
This guy wants to introduce a fourth Reich, a Robert Reich, if you will.
The third Reich 2.0.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, of course, if this were true, if it were true that it's simply corporate greed, like these corporations own 60% market share, so there's huge profit margins, right? Well, what's stopping Robert or other entrepreneurs who want to provide cheaper groceries from starting their own chains? Robert Wright could start his own chain, but of course, it could be that there's a bunch of government regulations that he would have to clear first before starting his chain. It might be incredibly costly to start his chain. There might be prohibitions that he has to get past to start a grocery chain, and he doesn't address that. So these guys are all about adding more government intervention on top of the negative consequences of the government intervention that caused the problem in the first place. It's absolutely nutty, and it grinds my gears, young Jared.
It grinds my gears. Well, I mean, if you look at the prices of almonds or the prices of pomegranate juice, it clearly can't be cheap to start your own grocery store. Got to front all that? Are you kidding?
And official blasphemy is making some good points there. He says, I think these folks are actually correct. Leftists are actually good at pointing out problems, but their solutions are always worse than the problems. They go on to say in the last several years, many bigwigs have been making record profits. The lockdowns basically shut down small competition. To deny corporate greed is, yes, that's absolutely right. Yes, corporations are greedy. They always have been. They were greedy before COVID. They're greedy after COVID. And it's government intervention that allowed them to increase their market share, increase their profits. Of course, it's only the largest, most connected corporations and grocery chains that are making out like bandits on profit share. And we can't also forget the fact that producing food has substantially grown in cost as well. Most places are implementing some cost on farmers for producing. I mean, this is why we are seeing convoys and huge protests all over Europe. We're seeing a carbon tax in Canada. Everything just got more expensive to produce. So grocery stores pass that cost on to you, the consumer. And yeah, there's no doubt there are government. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is less government regulation. Hey, let's not lock down society for a trumped up cold. Let's not crush small business. Let's not hand out free money to people for sitting around doing nothing in stimulate, in CERB checks. Let's not print up a bunch of money and imagine that that's doing something to stimulate the economy. It's doing nothing but rob our buying power. So yeah, this is a huge problem. That's my solution. It's no solution. It's like, nah, just get out of the way. Because here's the thing. If corporations, if grocery stores are making record profits, the question is, in a normal free market, anytime you see someone making a huge amount of profit in a business, let's say I see someone in town here who owns a pizza store, a pizza shop, and they're charging $100 a pie and making, when it's costing them $5 to make that pie, and they're making money hand over fist. Well, I'm going to look at and people are paying it. People are going because they want the pizza. Well, I'm going to easily be able to compete with that. I will enter the market. I'll charge $50 a pie and make money hand over fist. Maybe not quite as much as they did, but I'll certainly take some of their market share, won't I? That'll force them to. I mean, that's how free market competition lowers prices. Now, on the other hand, if there are local ordinances and regulations that all but prohibit me from entering that market, that make it impossible for me to start a pizza chain restaurant, a pizza restaurant, well, that pizzeria will never face any competition, and they'll be able to get away with continuing to charge higher prices. And that's exactly what's happening here with grocery stores and this record profits that they're supposedly making.
I think you're onto something with this Tim's Pizza idea. Kind of making me hungry.
I agree. We need to start a black market grocery store here that cuts out all these regulations, that says, you know, I'm not asking government for regulation. I'm going ahead. I'm going to bring cheap produce to the masses.
Forage.
And yeah, I'm still going to do well as the entrepreneur that started it. But
Tim's Pizza.
I'm going to take market share. But of course, as soon as you start something like that, the big guys will just drop their prices too, and then we're back. But that's how the free market works.
Yeah, prices, but you have the Tim Moen Show army will support Tim's Pizza.
There you go. Agorism markets. Exactly. Agorism is the idea, young Jared, of creating parallel markets that are outside the official commercial space. Market, like farmers markets and trading with farmers directly, and doing things like that, things that aren't technically illegal but are revolutionary in a lot of ways because they make the government irrelevant. And I think official blasphemy is onto something there. That may be the way forward. I mean, fighting government isn't working. It's only getting bigger and bigger. People are demanding more and more government to fix the problem. Things are going to get worse. And when things get worse, people don't want a weak leader who's going to do nothing. They want a strong leader who's going to pound the pulpit and say, I'm going to bring this nation back to greatness. And a
strong leader that'll stock the toilet paper and let you make pizza.
Free toilet paper for everyone. Tampons in all the men's washrooms is what I demand.
Those are strong demands.
Well, I'm a particular guy who has particular tastes, and the government needs to provide them for me.
Fair enough. I mean, the government provides always.
All right, guys. I think we're just about done. Make sure you like this channel, subscribe, hit that bell, smash it, body check it, throw a shoulder into it, hit that bell notification when the next Tim Moen Show drops. And me and young Jared tackle what's going on in the news. Feel free to send us any information or comment down below, any topics you'd like to see us address, and we'll go from there. Young Jared, do you have anything to plug? What's going on? You're starting a new channel with
Born in a Barn. Details soon to be disclosed. We're working out the logistics right now. Me and my team are on it. We're on it.
Excellent. And official blasphemy, you got the last word. There's an old saying, give them their heroes. Let's hope our heroes are chosen and not given. Have a good night, fellas. Thank you.
Choose us. We'll be your hero.
Everyone who's tuning in, and we'll see you on the flippity.